Gaming. Yes, that is the right button. Otherwise, we don't have...
How do we do this?
Yeah, exactly. All right. At here.
We are going live, folks.
Where are my ears? Can't hear without them.
Yes. Okay, we have adhered. Looks good on Twitch.
Yay. Oh. Mew. Oh, no, we have that figured out, don't we? Yeah. Never mind.
Well, let him know.
Yeah, so we're thinking, because the 19th is early Thanksgiving at our place, which would be the show in a month. You're welcome, by the way. Please feel free to come over. But we're thinking the 3rd for the BlizzCon wrap-up, take the week off, or take the 19th off because, having a house full of people, and then the 3rd being our last show of the year.
Which will be SOTOR talking about hopefully patch 7.4.
Right.
Sounds good.
Awesome. All right.
What's the next week's? Next week is next one's really BlizzCon? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, the next podcast, so it's in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yep. 2 weeks. Excellent. Okay, Seema can hear us. All right. So, you want me to do the countdown, love?
Oh. No, I'll do it. You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
Going live in 5, 4, 3.
On this episode of the AIE Podcast.
Ice Cream Citadel.
SWTOR is filled with nice, shiny things, really.
Halloween is looking to be endlessly exciting.
Jobs! Get your new jobs here!
And we have Mailong here to talk to us about AIE and Lotror.
All that and more coming up right now.
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE Podcast.
Welcome to episode 411 of the podcast celebrating you, the Alea Octa S gaming community. The Die Has Been Cod podcast. Wow. This is McCullough. I can't talk tonight, nor can I read notes, and I'm going to play Mailung, who just said, I want to hear McCullough flip over words. So there we go. Sorry I missed y'all last time. I was a little busy getting overwhelmed in Times Square. But I am back for some chaos and shenanigans. To my left, downstairs with a dog or cat on his lap, is Ted Semi.
Yes, and I apologize. I didn't set up your podcast mic, so if McCullough sounds a little bit differently,
I was wondering about that.
It's okay. We're all good. We don't know how to podcast.
Wow.
She's just role-playing TIE Fighter, that's all.
Exactly.
I can change my background if you want, because I can do that.
No, you're fine.
It would be fitting.
All right. And that voice you just heard is Mew Cow.
Greetings, guildies. I hope you're having a good October.
It's the most October of Octobers.
It is.
All right. And we are joined by our very special guest, Mailung, who's here to talk to us about AIE and Lord of the Rings Online. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining the chaos and shenanigans. Even if you did curse things slightly, it's okay.
You're welcome.
All right. So, what folks have been up to? Mailung, I'm going to start with you since you are the guest.
Oh, let's see. Believe it or not, I've been playing a lot of Lord of the Rings Online.
Really?
Which one of the big reasons why I'll get into later on. But between that, been doing flashpoints a lot in SWTOR. I did start and finish Diablo 3 Season 29.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I need to start Season 4.
That was the last
Diablo.
of the quote-unquote unique seasons, right? Now they're starting to repeat the other ones in Diablo 3?
No, this is the most recent one.
Okay, yeah.
The one that's live right now.
Got it.
I have been rolling dice,
Always
which
good.
has been a lot of fun. And I did, since the last time I've been on, my character has done 3 successful death saves.
Ooh.
Had 1 failure this last time before I was healed to normal.
As the healer, that makes me very anxious for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was fun. One of the rare times when a Gloomstalker Ranger can get in trouble in the daylight.
Oh, fudge. Yep, that'll do it.
That's pretty much what I've been to. Again, some of the reasons why I'll get into later.
Awesome. All right, my friend Mew, what have you been up to?
Oh, kinds of little things here and there. Let's see. A little bit of Halloween decorating. Trying to catch up with what I was behind before. Let's see. Other than that, no kid birthday parties. I don't know. That was just such a chaotic weekend that we've kind of blanked out on everything. And other than that, a little bit of gaming. There was some kind of a fan fest thing that happened this weekend. I might have been paying attention to that. Yeah. And oddly enough, playing a little bit of WoW, leveling some alts. It's been a while since I've really dug in and done that, but I might have leveled one of my many Mew cows up to max level and started dinking around with that. Because
Max Mew.
yeah. I finished we finished the heroic raid 2 or 3 weeks ago, so we've just been doing achievements, which is always interesting, especially because you can bring in alts. You don't need your max geared character anymore, so you're kind of doing admittedly they're normal fights, so they're not hard, but you're doing lesser geared tunes to make it a little bit more interesting, and maybe getting them a little gear. But it's always kind of interesting when you pull in, like, I'm a tank. I'm always a tank, but instead of doing a prot warrior, I was doing prot pally. So different tool set, different way of doing things, and then I just brought my druid up. So if I tank with that one, again, different tool set. It's the same basic role, but a different way of getting there. It's kind of interesting. So yeah, just kind of dinking around in there. I did finish one of the Cyberpunk endings. I need to do one more. I did with a lot. The one I finished was what people call the bad ending.
Was that the one that's very amazing but also very sad?
It's definitely the sad one, but like, you don't know which ending it is, so I won't give details. But it's essentially one of the endings where you get to retire your character.
Yeah. And
I won't tell you why, but for reasons of that ending, you retire the character. So it's kind of like a farewell. Okay, they did what they were they were trying to do, but it's retired. The character's retired, done.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go back and do what everyone considers the good ending, and see how that one goes through. So.
Awesome.
And it definitely the bad ending. It felt bad. Like it definitely it felt weird. It felt like you were making some strange decisions. Like it definitely felt like it was a little out of character. So I can see why some people consider that the bad ending. But yeah, like that game has some surprising depth. That just 2.0. I'm already looking forward to there's rumors that they're going to have a sequel to the game.
Yeah.
So I'm already looking forward to that, because it's a Starfield I enjoy, but there's just something about the narrative story and set up for Cyberpunk that's just different.
Yeah.
It hits differently. It hits more like a Final Fantasy 14, where it's there's no good or bad. 14 definitely leans more on the good, but I liked that they explored the it's not always light versus dark.
Nope.
Sometimes it's a little of both.
Yep.
So yeah, it's
And
they
even when you
definitely did a
win,
good
you
job.
lose. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what that the ending was. Yay, I won, but at what cost?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
What did it cost? It cost everything.
Everything.
Oh, so
yep.
it's the Rogue One ending. Got it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dude, okay, it is always too soon. All right?
I mean,
Just letting you know, it is always too soon.
I mean, look at your background.
I am aware. It's still. I saw a friggin' picture of Cassian and Jin at the end of Rogue One randomly online today. I started crying. All right, it's
Yep.
too soon. Too soon.
Yeah, yep, and out of nowhere too, we've been watching a lot of Star Trek Discovery, and we're amazed at how well done that series is. And I don't understand. I mean, I know a couple of key points why people don't like that series, and they're wrong for feeling that way. But like, it's just like it's so well done. Like it's the way they do the story and all the loops, and like they actually did one of the big. I don't know how you need to talk about it, but all I can say is goatees without goatees. Like they actually did that story well.
Yeah.
Like that's they did that story well, unlike a lot of the other ones where they just kind of ham-fisted. It's like,
Right.
oh, look, it's this, that. No, they actually did a really good job and had some actual like, whoa, where did that come from twists. So
Right.
we're looking forward to that. And unfortunately, because we're mired in Star Trek, I haven't been able to watch Ahsoka. I haven't been able to watch. Yeah, I know. It's our list is getting longer and longer, and so is my gaming list.
The list is long and distinguished. Got it.
Yes, very much so. But that's enough out of me.
Hey, Kat, what have you been up to? Besides watching Ahsoka.
Yes.
You know,
Definitely watched Ahsoka. Have not started Loki yet, so that's in the
we
queue.
did that still.
Also on the list.
Yeah, no, I thought Ahsoka was really well done, and I'm so glad they have a second season. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with that. But switching,
Again, things that made me cry.
yeah,
Oh my god. Anyways,
yeah, I'm really sad that the actor that played Balin passed on, because his character is one of the most interesting non-Sith ex-Jedi Force users that just there's a presence there, and there's a something there that you just he's got that ability to persuade you to his side without using trickery, without using mental gymnastics. It's just like it was really well done. So I can't wait to see where they're going to go with that whole storyline. I loved his apprentice Shin. That whole thing. But flipping universes, I have been sucked into a lot of, because I was looking at some Star Trek online stuff, and I keep getting sucked back into Deep Space Nine, and realize
that's never a bad thing.
No, realize I need to go rewatch Deep Space Nine now at this time in my life to appreciate how good it was, because there's a lot of stuff when you were watching it, at least when we were watching it, that I think either went over our heads or we didn't that we didn't appreciate as much as now. Some of those things are timeless, and you look at Cisco and the stuff he was able to pull off.
20-something to 50-something, and a grown old adult with lots of responsibilities and trying to figure out how to juggle it all. And it's a whole different thing.
Yeah, I think I was just starting college when that series came out, so it's like it brings back a whole range of memories. And oddly enough, they used that in my neuro training. That's the show they had me watch. So it's like, I forgot how good this series was.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
So it's on the list.
And then flipping universes again, Final Fantasy 14. Still have not done the Alliance raid, but I did get my Island Sanctuary to 20. So it's all upgraded, all complete, and I'm starting to... last week was the first week I was able to get the favors that you start at level 19. And so now I'm opening the loot boxes as they get them, because it's a choice of... The one mount is down to about 10 million gil. The rarer mount is still sitting at like 65 million gil. But they both come out of the boxes. So you can either spend 29 weeks saving up all your favors to basically trade your favors in for certificates, and it would take 29 weeks of that to buy all the favors to get one mount, but then you still need to get the other mount from the box. And since there's a chance to get both, you may as well, if you're not going to spend the gil on it, just open the boxes. So
Roll the dice.
yeah, so I'm doing that. I've started decorating a little bit more on the island. I'm really excited, and we'll talk some of this in the news. The Viper. Some people are like, "Oh, it's the better version of Ninja," and I'm like, "Well, we'll see. We'll see how it plays, but it looks really interesting. Just the basically, somebody's like, "Oh, it's the Darth Maul of FF14 classes," because he goes from 2 single blades and then puts them together for the finishing move. So it will be, that looks fun. And then a lot of time in Baldur's Gate 3, because there's a lot to do in Act 3 if you're trying to do everything. So I keep no spoilers, but I keep finding different places to find body parts for 2 different quests, and a third thing for collecting counting house keys. That's like, can we find them all? So yeah, it's fun. And just I haven't even gone in I'm still on the top level map. I haven't even gone down into the sewers yet, which is a whole nother level of shenanigans. But I am really impressed with that. Also, as much as everyone loves Karlak, I got the achievement for taking her on a date in Act 3, and only 2.9% of the Steam users have taken her on a date. I'm like, what are you people doing? Shadowheart?
Funny. Right?
So-
It wasn't. Right, just discovered her.
Yeah.
From what I saw.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're having fun. We haven't got our family group back together and done that. And then in DICE, Call of Cthulhu, we're dealing with vampire ghosts. We don't know.
We don't know what we're dealing with yet, but it's definitely spooky.
Yeah, it's dealing with a haunted. It's very. I almost said
Very
Phantom of
the Opera.
Yeah, I almost said
Very
Phantom of the Menace. But it's very Phantom of the Opera. Yeah, we found the place where they buried the bad thing under the theater with the lock and key, and resisted the urge to release it to deal with it. So yeah, we'll see how long that lasts. We may go back and release it. We don't know. But yeah, so we're having a lot of fun in there. And then in our shared Star Wars game that McCullough and I are in, load lifters really hurt when they punch you.
We're like level 1, dude. We're barely we're 10 sessions into the system.
I don't care. Binary load lifters, when they hit you for like 75% of your hit points, if not more. So yeah, we had 2 rogue binary load lifters that we had to disable, not kill, because they actually belong to the company we're working for. So we didn't want to cost the company money, so we had ended up disabling them. But yeah, that was a fun fight. And we just found the robot that was running the operation, the mine that we were going into, that had been hastily restrained with a restraining bolt. And our TD, one of our other players who's playing a a Jawa managed to just smack that restraining bolt off with like not even a thought. I think didn't he get a triumph on that?
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. Like it was more beautiful than Luke and the flathead screwdriver popping the restraining bolt off R2D2. So, yep. But that's where we've been. McCullough, what have you been up to?
And by the way, when it comes to resisting the urge to open the scary door, I also resist the urge to bring have my medium bring her a Ouija board out right there in that scary room and commune with anything. So that is a great restraint for me because I am the character player most likely to touch stuff. Get into that in a minute. That's who I am. So I really enjoyed New York Fashion Week, and by what I mean is me in New York for a week. Had a blast. Yeah, I read those notes. We did 5 plays in 3 days.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, which was pretty amazing. We could have done 6, but we didn't get our tickets in time before Monday night. But we did Some Like It Hot, Hades Town, 6, Beautiful Noise, and Chicago. And for Hades Town, which is my very favorite play right now, we were in the front row. And it's a play that I have listened to hundreds of times. I have seen on stage. Front row in New York, it's pretty life-changing. Especially when that first note plays and you just start bawling because you know what's coming up. And I started crying, and Hermes looked at me from, right here, like, get yourself together. So that was really fun. We're at a hotel not even a mile from Central Park, so my morning walks were in Central Park. We had a little snafu every day. That's always fun. Saw bunches of friends that live in the area. Had really great food. We had very few sit-down meals. We did a lot of street food, a lot of casual dining. I don't know why people in New York drink Starbucks because there's lots of really great little coffee houses everywhere. Made it out to Brooklyn, went to Greenwood Cemetery in Brooklyn on Friday the 13th, and happened to catch a picture of a ghost behind me, so that's always fun. And yeah, I had a really great time. Can't wait to go back. We've left a lot of stuff undone. So that's what I'm doing in real life, and then, of course, a lot of working. In DICE, me, I'm in way too many games. But our Star Wars game, we're currently on Miriel, where my character's in-laws live. We're trying to get funds because we're going after a sect of dark side Force users that we've kept coming up against, but it happens to also be my character's brother, my character's wife's brother. So we went back to her family to, hey, we need some funds to take care of this. Yeah, by the way, the son that you thought was dead, he's not dead. We're trying to redeem him. But while we're on Miriel, there happens to be a group of Chiss there, part of the Chiss Ascendancy, who have an agreement with the Miriel government, and they're using their resources there. They have a contract for alloys. They're using to make ships, make ship armor, and they're currently making it for the 7th Fleet, aka Thrawn's part of the Remnants.
Nice.
So, yeah, so we happened to, got into the Chiss compound, where this whole thing is very relative, where one of our characters, his sister happens to be a high member of this ascendancy. She does not care for the Remnants. So she's like, here, hey, we took us to a nice quiet place, and here's what we're doing. Here's who we're working for. Once we get paid and delivered, I don't care what happens with these ships. You can do whatever you want. So we took a video, or you took a haul of it, sent that to our contact with the Republic, because we are kind of like the part of the Republic that does the stuff that really is under the record, under the radar. We're not official. It's okay.
We're
We're gonna
special
put a
ops.
strike force.
We're
We're gonna put
special
a
ops.
strike force. Yeah, we're special ops. Basically, it's like, and they want money. They want contracts. I bet you that, if you can make them a contract, they'll build these beautiful ships for you too. So our contact's like, okay, get a tracking beacon on one of these things. We'll take it from here. And then we then got information where this secret order is currently. So that's once we get that tracking beacon on there, we're going to let the Republic do what the Republic's going to do, and we're going to go risk our lives. So we're in kind of the opposite of Cam and I's game, where we're a little bit, like, we're in the 10th session. We're on 111th session. So we have so many XP. We've, saved the galaxy 3 or 4 times. We're trying to do it again. So we're in the end game portion of this adventure. So yeah, not much hurts us, and when it hurts us, it's bad.
Yep.
That's what we're doing with real life and dice and all of that. So let me figure out where we are. So we're gonna go ahead and dig into Lotro in just a few minutes. Let's kind of quickly go over this week's news.
AIE News.
All right. Go through a quick recap of mandatory fun nights since we haven't done that in a while. Sunday, today, y'all get a day off. Well, except to listen to us, so
Yeah, over here.
Monday, Guild Wars 2, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Also on Monday, Star Trek Online, 10 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday, SOTOR, mandatory fun night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday, HFO Mythic Plus Mayhem and WoW. And Thursday, board game night, the first and third Thursdays of the month at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. ESO at 9 p.m. Eastern on Fridays, along with the Final Fantasy XIV Magical Miscellaneous Tour. And then Saturday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, Lord of the Rings Online. Final Fantasy XIV Map Night. WoW Classic Hardcore at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And New Braid at 11 p.m. Eastern in Retail WoW.
Some.
And another recap of the streaming and guild podcast news segments and podcasts in general that are out there. We have a lot of them. Want to know where to find them? Well, here's a list. We, of course, have the SWTOR Escape podcast. Max and Seema. They changed their names? That's right.
Yep.
That's right. They're new overlords now.
Yep.
They are. Sorry about that, Max and Seema.
We'll update the template.
So they're now
already.
They're the Nope podcast.
Exactly, and just take that one out. So there you go. All right.
Yep.
Good.
So that's over. Just go over to newoverlords.com. You'll find all of their fun stuff there. Then we have the Working Class Nerds with Marcus and Nick. It is not safe for life, work, or family, or anyone else for that matter.
But you should still listen.
Yeah, you should still listen.
Just make sure you have your earbuds in.
Yes. Do not broadcast it to the neighborhood.
Nope.
It is at workingclassnerdscom.wordpress.com. Then we have Boards and Swords with Chris and Philip. Boardsandswords.com is where you can find their podcast. We also have Dr. Gameology with Dr. Daniel Kaufman. He's at drgameology.com. We have the STO Fleet Action Report. That is with Greebog and Nicodemus. And that is at YouTube at Fleet Action Report. And of course, we have a podcast reborn, rather. A Final Fantasy XIV community podcast with Brandon, aka Old Man Franks, Megan, and Ro. It is also one of those not safe for broadcasting to the neighborhood. You will find them at bonusroll.gg and look for a podcast reborn in their directory.
All right, and in Nomad news, a couple people popped back into New World to check out the expansion, and it's looking pretty good. They don't expect that much attention, but the company still exists if anyone needs it. Diablo 4 Season 2 has started. It's also looking pretty dang tasty. Some quality of life updates, like fast leveling coupled with season stories, and vampire abilities all seem to be pretty well received. There's probably a crew in Diablo channel that would group for fun times. If anyone's interested, pop in there. Arc is going to release their remaster of the base game in the next week. There might be groups forming for ARC expeditions and post announcements if that is going to happen.
Yep. And in retail, WoW, New Braid is still working on getting a full clear of Avarice for Kinney, since she seems like whenever she's there, New Braid doesn't quite make it past all the bosses. Speaking of raids, patch 10.2 is launching November 7th. Blizzard has announced the raid schedule. And good news, everyone! All difficulties, including LFR, launch together. And LFR wings unlock every week instead of every 2 weeks. Gather your allies and join the Dream Wardens as they stand against the machinations of Farak and his allies, the Druids of the Flame, for fame, for glory, for the World Tree, and for rewards, of course. You'll face 9 new bosses and engage in a dragon riding encounter. Oh no. Leading to the ultimate showdown at the top of Amir Drasil, the Dream's Hope. The schedule is basically November 14th. Everything opens, so patch launches the 7th. Week later, everything opens, Wing 1 of LFR. And then each week after that, the 21st, 28th, and then... they are skipping for some reason. That's weird. So the 14th, the 21st, and the 28th, you get Wings 1, 2, and 3. But then you have to wait until December 12th to get to Raid Finder Wing 4. Weird.
Maybe to give everybody an extra week to get more gear for the last little bit.
Probably, yeah. All right. Mew, what's going on in WoW Classic?
Good news, everybody! ICC is open. And the Classic crew has been in twice so far. They have downed the first 4 bosses with relative ease. Tonight, they also made a little trip over to Onyxia's lair, then ran back up to Northrend for TOC 10, and then over a little bit to Malygos, because he's hanging out on the island over on the west coast, to do the weekly quest. Which vault is that one?
Archivon.
Archivon, okay. There's so many vaults of somethings
I know
right now. And they did the first 4 bosses in ICC. And then also, in other news, of course, Hallow's End event is active, which means the Horseman is doing his rounds. So he has actually been revamped. I don't know if it's mentioned. He is not the spank him, run around with his ult, spank him, run around with his ult, spank him, run around with his dead. He's actually has new mechanics. So it's not just a tank and spank like it used to be. Like, it is actual, like, you have to pay attention. He's got something for the melee to dance around, and then he'll throw his minions on the ranged. He'll also drop some pockets of essentially, well, I guess, lava fire. But yeah, like I was thrown off. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? This is not the usual stuff. And yeah, it's actually a challenge. And if it's still not enough of a challenge for you, you can go talk to the Scarecrows, and they can give you extra mechanics to make it even more interesting.
Yep. All right.
And if you do that, you get an achievement too. So yeah, it's not just for the challenge, but if you like the challenges there.
A challenge and achievement.
Yes. But supposedly, they claim every year, but they claim they've upped the drop rate for the horse.
Well, according to SEMA, that's true, because they've got four of the team have gotten them out so far in Classic. So,
well, I haven't seen it, so it doesn't exist.
That does not matter then.
but yeah, it's a new fight. I mean, it's nice. It's how long has it been since that fight was first created? It's been that long since they've updated it. So yeah, I definitely recommend diving in there and messing with it. Jump on your alts. Of course, you get the usual ring drops, which is currently 402. So it'll get you ready for the next expansion. It's great for any freshly made tunes, like a druid that might have hit 70 like 2 days ago, to get a new ring. But yeah, this looks like there have been successful mount drops for some people,
but not me.
No, it doesn't exist.
No.
Although I'm done with the 30 alts a day run that I used to do, because which is sad because I bet you if I do that, if I were to do it now, it probably would actually work. But not way back in the day when it was 0001.
Didn't they? Isn't it always the first?
The first one gets a bonus drop.
Right. Yeah.
You can still grind it out if you want, so that you'll get back to the regular. But the first one has a higher than possible drop.
Gotcha. Okay.
That way you don't have to feel like you have to run all 30 Verarts through.
That's good.
But it is. It looks like there is a bit of raiding going on again in WoW Classic. Let's see here. They're glad to have everyone back. Oh, actually, yeah. So that's probably why. So what I'm talking about is in WoW Retail, not WoW Classic, that they changed the Headless Horseman. I don't think they've changed him in Classic. So you'll still get the same old, which is actually probably a challenge at level 60.
Yeah.
But yeah, for retail, in case anyone was confused, I'm talking about the retail Headless Horseman has been updated. A lot of fun. Go to it. But yeah, everyone of course is looking forward to BlizzCon to see what they announce regarding Cataclysm, which I don't know.
No.
They shouldn't.
Yeah, that would be weird, considering.
Yeah, that's the whole point of Classic was because
remake.
Well, like the whole reason why
exactly.
Classic happened was because they hated that the old rule was changed.
Yeah,
exactly.
And never repaired. Like they just left it. Like there's still gaping wounds across the world. There's still a sword over there that everyone keeps forgetting about. but yeah, that's why Classic exists, because they like seeing the world as it was.
Right before Kata. Yep. All right. So in SOTOR news. In SOTOR game news, there were some new updates on what 7.4 will bring, including a game-wide upgrade to lighting and a new color tech. The new color tech includes a spectrum of shininess from matte to pearlescent to metallic. The first application of this new tech is going to be with 6 new dyes. Now you can say when you get a shiny new piece of armor, you actually mean shiny.
And it's freaking gorgeous. It's
lovely.
Yeah, like the black and red they showed off. They did a black, like matte black with red highlights, and then they showed metallic black with pearlescent red highlights, and then metallic red with black pearlescent highlights, and it looks stunning. And then the new lighting on top of that goes from having a big harsh like highlight on your character to the actual volumetric lighting of the area lighting your character up, and it looks so much better. So
amazing. That's great. This is a reminder that flashpoints drop plenty of nice decorations for you to use in Stronghold, so they're definitely worth running, especially when there are conquest or galactic season objectives. That an active week in the guild with world bosses and murderous mayhem during MFN, PvP action on Wednesday night, and space pew 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 and heroics on Friday.
Yep. And in ESO news, they've been working on trials again, having a lot of fun doing that, even though usually they have less than 12 people. They have the Tales of Tribute tournament is ongoing, and we'll have more updates on that as I think they're in week 3 of 4, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see how that's going. And they have more trials upcoming, as well as diving into the new Endless Archive content when it releases. Update 40, which brings said new Endless Archive content, is scheduled to launch on October 30th for PC and Mac and the 14th for consoles. Brings some quality of life changes like a new group finder for trials, arenas, and pretty much any other activity you might want to group up with friends to do, which is good because the previous or the current activity finder is rough.
In Final Fantasy XIV news, there might have been this FanFest thing you might have heard about over in London. We're not at all jealous about their setup over there.
No.
They actually had the city-states and just looked like they actually learned from the North America tour. But yeah, we did learn, however, they at least one of the new jobs, which is a dual sword-wielding melee class called Viper. This is one that is unique to Final Fantasy XIV. It's not, at least not all of it, is not coming from a class in a previous Final Fantasy.
Yeah, this is a wholly owned new creation.
Yep. And it's going to also finally share gear with Ninja. Everyone's been wondering when Ninja is going to get someone to share with him. It's the scouting gear. Because they share the accessories with the ranged melee agility stuff. But they're the only ones that have the scouting gear. So yeah, you're going to need to have your level 70 or 80 scouting gear ready for that new class. It actually kind of reminds me a little bit of the non-sneaky rogue from WoW, having
Right.
the two swords.
The combat.
Or, yeah, that kind of combat. It's a lot of... But it also, when they combine the swords, it reminded me of what red mages do. Because when they need a focus, they grab the thing out of the air and plop it on their sword, and then they do a big cast.
Yep.
And then let it free again. So it kind of reminded me of that mechanic. So, but they also said that there is going to be a second limited class. So just like the
because
Blue Mage.
Blue Mage is kind of at the end of their rope, not rope, but the end of their what they can do.
Yeah, unless they invent some new monsters, new abilities. That's pretty much all they can do. But yeah, they're going to introduce a new limited class, and it'll have its just like I imagine it'll be just like Blue Mage, but as you can see, if you got Blue Mage right now, you'd see all the content Blue Mage has. So they're going to do that again for a new class, and no hints at all about the other new class,
other than the hint that gave us in Vegas.
Yeah. He said I already gave you hints in Vegas, so everyone's still thinking Green Mage or. He was wearing a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shirt, so.
Right. Yeah.
But they're thinking Beast Warden might be the new limited class, right?
Possibly, yeah. Because that's the one thing that Final Fantasy XIV doesn't really have, is they don't have the ability to tame monster or beasts in the world.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And since Blue Mage gets its spells from essentially stealing them or learning them from the monsters it's fighting, having a Beastmaster to essentially do that same thing but through taming makes sense.
Yeah.
Solid.
The other thing they announced is what the new alliance will be for 7.0. Mm-hmm. We are traveling to Final Fantasy 11.
Yay!
So everyone that enjoyed Final Fantasy XI, we'll be able to see the world of Vanadil again. It'll be interesting to see how they do it. I know we've already had one visitor to us, Shantoto, came to visit us a while back. So I wonder if they'll use that as the conduit. But it'll be interesting. And they announced all this. They had the grandfather of Final Fantasy there, as they call him. Mm-hmm. Was actually at the Fan Fest, and it was kind of neat to watch him there. Yesterday, on day 2, they actually had a segment where Yoshida and him played 2 characters on the live servers and did stuff in trials. They basically just did open party, and the fastest typing wins to get into the party.
Right.
But it was kind of amazing. He says he's only been playing for 2 years, but that it takes up like a third of his day. But he's a tank, so he tanks in the game. Yoshida, of course, is well known for his Lalafell Black Mage. Mm-hmm. And we all got to watch with glee as the grandfather of Final Fantasy ran around trying to kill Yoshida and cackling while doing so. So it's kind of amazing. Like the one person that could get away with trying to kill Yoshi P in his own game is the grandfather of Final Fantasy.
That makes sense.
Yep.
But yeah, that was just delightful to watch, and I saw so many comments of, "Wow, he's a gamer like us." Like the grandfather of Final Fantasy is playing the game alongside us. Like he's just been a regular player in the game. So and he says that he loves, like, he's been taking his time because he loves seeing every new boss, every new character. Like he wants to see like of course he's already seen it like way back when they had to prove it, because he's the one that has to approve if they are allowed to do what they did to that character from Final Fantasy in their game. So he's kind of like the last say of, yeah, that looks fine. But he didn't get to like live that character. So this was his chance to go into the game and say, oh, well, I see what they did there. Oh, here's the, here's this angle, and here's this sound, and here's, oh, I love what they did with the music here. Oh, this is the music from this game. Like he says that's been his journey, and it's kind of, amazing to watch. So yeah, that's just, that was really interesting to hear and see and watch, that stuff. But yeah, I think those are the big notes from FanFest. Of course, they talked about the Xbox stuff is still in testing. So they are looking for Xbox testers. So if you are an Xbox player and wanted to join, they want you in there. And of course, last but not least, they wanted to show off that there is fur textures. So here's a furry llama.
Yep.
So that's also available in the show notes. But that
Yes.
llama definitely has furry. That's some fur. That's not just
Yep.
blob.
And not only is the llama furry, the grass. Look at the grass
This
density.
grass looks great. This beautiful contrast too.
Yeah.
Gorgeous detail. All right, and in STO news, Mud is opening the doors to a new choice pack on October 26th for the PC. Purchase the Mud's awesome mixed choice pack for 29,500 Zen and choose any 3 of the above options. But that's not all. This pack will be 50% off from 12/26 at 8 a.m. Pacific
10:26.
time. That's right, 10/26. Wow, from 8 Pacific time to November 9th, 12 p.m. Pacific time. Choose from the following options: Herald Von Dreadnought Carrier T6, Freedom Class Exploration Frigate T6. Here you go. I'm gonna mess up some words.
Tholian.
Thalolium
Iktomi.
Olean.
Iktomi. Thank you. T6. Oh gosh, why did I give myself this?
Zenkethi Shukden Escort.
Thank you. T6. 2 times pack T6, 100% off ship coupons, 50 times master keys, 9 times pack experimental ship upgrade tokens, and 10 times ultimate tech upgrades. There's more information on arcade games. By the way, everything in Mud's Market isn't a bundle is on sale for 75% off from October 26th to November 2nd. Starts at 8 p.m. Pacific on this 26th and ends at 12 p.m. Pacific on the 2nd. Grab more for your Zen.
Yep. And finally, in Guild Wars 2 news, the Shadows of the Mad King event is here until November 7th. Dungeons and More Nights is the second Friday of the month starting at 9 Eastern. All are welcome, no level requirements.
All right. And hey, Mailong, after all that, why don't you let us know what's going on in Lotro?
Well, in Lotro, we do have an expansion coming out. The Corsairs of Umbar. Right now it's on track for November 8th. Was originally scheduled for November 1st, but the executive producer on Friday said it's not ready for November 1st. It is on track for November 8th. And if he's not happy with the way the test server Bullroar is looking, he said, I will push it back to make sure that we're putting out a good
That's the
product.
way to do it.
Yeah.
Was for the lore junkies of Umbar. The Haven of Umbar was a city to the far south of Gondor and Middle Earth, where the king's men and their descendants lived in a city of the same name. By the Third Age, it was known for its seafaring corsairs. So now it's the Corsairs of Umbar who we're going to be fighting. There is a new class who has this really cool mechanic that's above my head. You have skills that will either push it forward, or aft. If you go too far, then it does do more damage if you go too far forward. If you stay too far forward, all the way forward, just like on a ship, you become unstable and you are pretty much knocked out for a few seconds, which, having played a lot, it can get you at the wrong time.
Of
and the
course.
new class is the Mariner.
Yep.
Which it's like the Corsairs, but because we're playing as pretty much good guys, it's a Mariner, but very melee, very fun, very strong to play. And because it's a new class as well, not a whole lot of guides are out there right now. So I've been playing a lot, trying to figure out the class, trying to figure out what virtues and all that stuff I want. So that's one reason why I've been playing a lot. It does use medium armor. So if you've been playing a hunter in some of the heavier in-game stuff, all the equipment is bound to account that I've been getting. So it's like, hey, I have this medium armored person that I'm coming up with. So as soon as I hit level cap of 140, it's like, hey, here's a bunch of gear. So he's pretty much on his road to being set to do some heavy in-game stuff. But going from range to melee is a little tricky in-game. There are 4 new regions, which here's some of the pictures of some of the regions. We will have over 350 unique quests.
Oh, great.
We do have some new enemies, including a lion and a saltwater crocodile.
Ooh.
Who sounds vicious. There are raising the level cap to 150. Bunch of people have asked, hey, 150.
Are we going to 200?
Right.
Are you going to be doing a level squish at some time? Because they did a stat squish. Are you going to be doing a level squish? They said no. Because it isn't... their reason is because they have so many different types of players that play the game. Whether you're an in-game player or you just the road to it, or you just in there for the music and to play the music like Max likes to do, or you're just in there for role play. You know, they have to cater to a wide variety. So it isn't. It's the journey to get there, not once you're at in-game.
Right.
There will be some new in-game instances and raids. They're looking at December, January timeframe for all that stuff. They have talked about some upcoming improvements once Umbar is out and set. They do want to update the UI. The deeds panel, people are complaining that that's too small. When you open up the map, it takes up your whole screen. So they want to see, hey, is it possible to have your map open and still see where you're running?
Right.
With the wide variety of people that they have, they are looking to improve content for the lower level people. This way they're not getting bored.
That way they never become higher level people, so they're ignoring all that content.
Yep.
Yeah. And if you're getting out leveled, trying to get your reputation, all that stuff, this way, it is still fun for the lower level, while at the same time trying to cater to the in-game players.
Absolutely.
They're looking to have a new launcher, but they said that will come out at the same time that multi-factor authentication comes out. So Lotro will be going multi-factor.
That's good.
Option. Really good. So it's probably going to be middle of next year, because there's a bunch of stuff that keeps getting added to the list. So some of these other stuff, it's like, okay, where can we put that in the list of stuff?
Right.
4K update is still planned. They are working on that, but there's a lot involved. They have to go panel by panel, section by section to make sure that they don't break it.
Probably a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know one of the things that is upcoming that will be really good for AIE is the executive producer, Severlin, wants more mechanisms for players to group up from disparate levels. So if you're a level 75, you can run with a level 105, 140, 150. You can still get good, meaningful. You can still have good, meaningful content. You can get good rewards, rather than right now you only get experience if it's 5 levels or less,
Right.
or 5 levels under where you're at. So you have a 10 level window that you actually get experience. So it's like is it really worth, and if I'm going in there with my 140 helping out a level 75, you're not doing much damage. I'm doing all the damage.
Right.
So you're pretty much just feel like you're not doing a whole lot, but this way both players can still have the same experience.
Yeah.
VIP updates are in the works to make it more incentivizing, which has been a complaint over the years. And one of the things that I had to throw in there, skirmishes are getting looked at. And it can be as simple as updating the rewards to making it better for a varied group of people to join. Like with the level 75, joining with the 105, 140 people. This way, and even they're even possibly looking at how, like in SWOTOR, you go into some regions in your level, you're playing at like a level 26, even though you're level 70.
Right.
But there's a lot of good stuff coming up, especially with this new area. I was in Umbar earlier for Bull Roar, and it looks absolutely beautiful. And the Mariner is really fun. We do run Saturday Night Lotro on Saturday nights. Everyone's welcome. If you need help leveling up, we can do that. If you want gear, we can help you with that. I've been helping Ducks quite a bit, which is fun for me to do because I need stuff for other classes. But it's a great time. You guys should come join us.
And what's the entry fee, or what? Is it buy once and then is there a monthly subscription, or how does the whole model work for Lord of the Rings Online?
There is quite a bit that you can do free to play. You don't have to purchase anything. Like with the Corsairs of Umbar, you can grind out the Lotro points, which is the in-game store points. You can grind out Lotro points, and 4 to 6 months after the expansion pack drops, you can buy it from the in-game store.
Nice.
So you don't. I know people who have not spent a dime on the game but have all the content.
That's great.
There is a VIP which does give you some perks. Like you can, if every 14 days you get this one potion, you drink the potion and you don't have a repair bill for 14 days. So if you're doing a lot of in-game stuff and dying a lot,
Absolutely,
you don't have to repair your armor. But pretty much once you buy the content, like the expansion pack, you have it.
Awesome.
No, that's great.
Right.
And it looks like there's a. I was looking on the Lord of the Rings site for the Umbar expansion. Looks like there's a big collector's pack coming out.
Yeah, the Ultimate Bundle. You get a ton out of the Ultimate Bundle. One of the things that they do have is they have a parrot pet, which they have 2 versions of the parrot pet. One of them that does take up an equipment slot. So if you're doing RP, you can, instead of the shoulders, you can have a parrot sitting on your shoulder.
That's fabulous.
But if you're out there doing quests and you need the equipment in that slot, there is a parrot pet that you can get that flies around and flies with you, lands, talks.
Like a cosmetic parrot.
Yeah. It's a non-combat pet, but really fun. They do have a weapon aura that shimmers as if it's reflecting the sea. Really, really neat. And that's the one that I have.
Awesome. Very cool. All right. Well, I think that is about it for our show tonight. Chat room, while you guys go and suggest titles, Malin, thanks for joining us. And is there anything that you want to plug or make sure we know about?
There absolutely is. On November 3rd, which on Tuesday nights, I do stream on Locho Stream, twitch.tv/Locho Stream. I stream there on Tuesday nights starting at 8 o'clock max time. On November 3rd, I will be, they're doing a 24-hour stream for Extra Life, which I have the 7 p.m. Eastern Time hour segment. Which I will probably be running skirmishes or something. I'll be running something at between 7 and 8 p.m. on November 3rd.
Excellent.
All right, let me just put this in here. There we go. All right, if you have a question or comment about the show, you can email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can find us on the AIE Discord and other non-Twitter social media. We record live with video every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can join the chat room and play along with us at our website, aie-guild.org. And look for the link on the main page to our Discord server. For past episodes, they're on our YouTube channel. Just look for the AIE Podcast. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul or visit his website, andrewallenmusic.com.
And if we had any segments, they go right about here. So if you have any, send them in and we'll include them.
All right. And in 2 weeks, we'll be talking to Lucy and possibly Gusty about a BlizzCon wrap-up because BlizzCon is in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So until then, AIE.
This is Malung.
This is Magala.
This is Tetsemi.
This is Muko.
And this has been the AIE Podcast.
Max is hitting it out of the park already with the title.
I know.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
Y'all can try another one, but I mean, that's up to Malung, but that's dang good.
Yeah.
Dang it, Max.
I
It's
know.
got to be so good.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, no, that was excellent.
Yeah.
You know what? Just to be mean, I'll take Seamus.
There we go. Get it.
All right.
2 carrots.
So, also, probably BlizzCon stuff. This is after show stuff, but just for the people that hung around and listened to us ramble, there is no streaming package you have to buy. There is a bundle if you want in-game goodies, but they're going to stream everything free because everything they're streaming is only going to be on one stage, the arena stage. So just keep an eye on the Discord. We may have like a watch party or, at least commentary with stuff going on. So just keep an eye on the Discord channel, Discord server. So, all right.
Excellent. Well, that was a great time. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right.
Even if you cursed me in the beginning of the show and I messed up words and parts and...
Yep. All right.
It wouldn't be the same without it.
I know. It's part of my charm.
Yep. Chat room, we will see you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Thanks, chat room.
Bye.